What's up, everybody? Jake Blickenstaff here with Virtual Properties VPR First Team, coming at you with another interview. I like doing these local business spotlights because it gives a good friend of mine, Matt McCue here, an opportunity for me to present to you guys one of the kind of local business community leaders. I know that we're both extremely active in the Chamber of Commerce, but I'm going to give Matt kind of the platform to really talk about what his involvement in the community is and kind of what his business is here at Junk South, and really just try to give you guys a little bit more exposure and see if there's anybody out there kind of in my my database and my marketplace and my sphere of influence that might be able to give you some more business if that's a possibility.
Absolutely.
I know that never hurts.
No, I never shame on that.
So, I mean, I know a little bit more about you, but give me a little bit of background, who you are, what your business, how you kind of got started with the junk removal business.
Well, I moved to Athens in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I'm originally from Western Kentucky. When I moved to Athens, I was in the healthcare business, selling equipment, stuff of that nature. And then when that went out of business, I transitioned into buying my own business. So I was a business owner for 7 years. I owned 2 9-round kickboxings. I was a personal trainer, taught people the art of kickboxing while working out at the same time and getting fit. The pandemic got me on that. Was doing real well up until that. 2020, 2021, 2022, it just started going downhill. I couldn't recover the way I wanted to.
Yeah, it's tough.
Then I met the owner of Junk South, and I told him where I was, what I was doing with my business. I was still in the mindset of trying to keep it afloat and hoping that it would grasp back on and take off again.
Yeah.
So I started here, told Chris what I wanted to do. I work here part-time. I'm supposed to be working at the gym. And so that's what I did. I started here, part-time as a junk removal specialist. Really just finding out about the business,
Mm-hmm.
learning what Junk South offers, learning the way that they do things, the way they sort, the way they donate, the way they recycle. They do the right thing with all of the items taken. So as time went on, I realized that, I was probably going to be doing away with my own business,
Okay.
nine round, and talk to Chris about it. Say, look, I would like to take a bigger role within Junk South.
Yeah.
I'll be, I'll be working here more and working at 9-round less. So that's what happened. I started working here more and could tell you the manual, all the pricing, the mission. I learned all of it, and he saw some value in me from being a previous business owner, what I could bring to this organization. So he promoted me full-time to operations manager.
And that's the position you currently hold?
That's the
Okay.
That's the position I currently have. So he still does. He's still in the office most days, doing his thing. He plays a vital part still. He shows up to dirty jobs. He lends a hand when we're behind. He's still very much hands-on within the organization. But I've taken a lot away from him. I'm doing the scheduling, the month-end reports, bookings, networking, going to events, chamber, BNI, trying to gain more business, meeting people. It's been a pleasure getting to know everybody and what they do and how I can be help to them, how they can be help to me. it's more so about building the friendships as much as it is getting referrals. I like that just as well.
Well, I mean,
It don't have to be, oh man, you're not giving me referrals, so I don't like you. I'm just glad that I've made a new friend.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it goes back to the old adage of you got to know, like, and trust who you want to do business with. And so, I mean, if you can build those relationships and those friendships naturally from, like, Chamber of Commerce or BNI, like what you were talking about, because I know just about every damn Chamber of Commerce event that I go to, I see you there. And so, like, we always run into each other. So the community involvement and the business building that you're involved in, it definitely shows, at least from my side of the table. So good on you on that. And as far as taking away all those additional work responsibilities from the owner, as a good operations manager should,
Exactly. So yeah, I try to lighten his load and then make my load heavier and take on the responsibility that it takes to make this a more successful business.
So with where you guys are currently, I obviously know where your guys' office is, but why don't you give a little bit more backstory of, like, where you're located here in Athens, along with, like, how long you guys have been here, and then really, like, kind of the full encompassing of all the services that you guys offer for anybody that might not know.
So we've been in this location going on 3 years. We were at a warehouse location previously on Baxter, but this is the first big office that Chris has purchased, and it had a nice sized lot in the back for the number of dumpsters that we had at the time and trucks. Well, since then we've doubled in dumpsters and doubled in trucks. So we're growing. We're continuing to grow, and we are, looking ahead to make another purchase, about maybe even getting a bigger size building to contain all our roll-offs and trucks too. So this may be catered more towards our full service side, and then another location may be catered more towards our roll-off side.
Okay.
But we offer full service. Now that's where it all started. In 2012, Junk South started with full service, which is a truck and a trailer that Chris drove at F-150, pulled a trailer behind, went to a house, loaded that trailer, went to the landfill, and offloaded that into the landfill. That's the way it went for years. And then he was able to get his first truck with a hydraulic lift, a dump on the back, made life a lot easier. Hired some people.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So now we load that, go to the landfill, raise it up, and it all falls out, and then we take off. So, anyways, the bread and butter has been the full service for many years. Now, 3 years ago, Chris decided to do roll-offs.
Yeah, I just recently did some renovations last year at one of my properties, and used you guys and I just dropped right in the front yard and demoed both of my bathrooms, and then had it picked up, and it was phenomenal. Such an easy process.
Yeah.
So I was very thankful that you guys were pretty much right down the street.
Good. We make it quick and seamless. So the roll-offs have been taken off. We started off with the 15s and 20 cubic yard dumpsters. Now we have 30s. So adding those 30s is another dimension. Those are hard to keep in as well, especially for business side of things. We use those for construction. Residents can get those as well because they hold more, but they've really taken off with commercial side of things on those 30s. And also in 2023, we started demolition. So we bought a skid steer, and we've been keeping that thing busy. We've demoed detached garages a couple times. We demoed about 4 mobile homes, and then we use our roll-offs division for that. So we'll pull our roll-off to the site, demo whatever into our own roll-off, and then dispose of it.
Okay.
So that's been that's been well too. We've been real proud of adding the demolitions. We've tore up some driveways for people to be able to get new driveways. Old cracked driveways with roots in them. We take them away. We can grade. We can spread gravel. So we've done that on a couple different occasions as well. So that's where we're at right now with our services. Full service, we do it for you. Roll-offs, we drop it, you load it yourself. And then demolition, where if something's falling apart, it's an eyesore, we'll take it away for you and get that, make it clean land.
I like it. It sounds like you guys all encompassing everything, junk removal.
Mm-hmm.
So tell the audience a little bit more about like what your guys' kind of direct involvement with the Athens community per se. So I know that like obviously we already talked about being involved with the chamber, but do you guys like have any organizations that you donate to or that you sponsor or anything that maybe you guys would like to highlight that you feel is important in the community or anything like that?
We do. We've grown a big relationship with Habitat for Humanity.
Okay.
So when we donate, most of the time that'll be our first choice. Just because they refer us a lot.
Yeah.
Anytime there's like call Junk South, they'll take care of you. So, but there's 2 Restore locations in town. We go to the Atlanta store most of the time. Daryl's the manager there. Makes lots of donations. He knows we have a keen eye for stuff. So most of the time he's like, man, that's completely awesome. Look what you brought us to sell in our store. They can't believe some of the stuff we give them. Goodwill, Atlanta Mission.
Okay.
Keep Athens Beautiful. Chris has been on the board for that for a while. I'm probably going to get on the board of that eventually, where we, participate with them to clean out, sides of roads, trash along the side, small parks and stuff. We're heavily involved with the University of Georgia, so we keep a lot of the parks involved with Athens, Clark County. We keep them clean.
Okay.
So
Nice.
So anytime you're driving around and you see homeless stuff, tents and blankets and shopping carts, that'll be us that cleans all that out. So we're anytime that UGA or Athens Clark County needs a property cleaned up, they're going to call Junk South.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah. If they like all the dorms and stuff, UGA dorms, the guys over that, they're going to give us a call to come get some broken down desks, some broken chairs, anything that's dated out of their dorms. They're going to give Junk South a call.
Okay.
Just
Nice.
because we've built it, they know we're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
They built the trust in us, and it's great to be involved with this awesome college town with them calling us for a removal.
So with the multiple kind of testimonials that you just basically talked about, especially with like UGA and the park and Clark County and things like that, what would you say sets your guys' business apart from, any other kind of Joe Schmo, not necessarily to throw shade on anybody else, but really just what sets you apart from any other kind of junk removal company that might be an option in the area?
Determination, friendliness, doing the right thing with what we remove. We're not going to just take everything straight to the landfill. We're going to separate metal. We're going to separate donations. We're going to separate recycled materials. MSW, which is mixed solid waste, we're going to keep that as is. We're going to go to the landfill and dump it. But it's doing the right thing and sustainability that we offer that other companies don't.
That's good.
Yeah.
Especially, being able to speak about that and show it in your work. And clearly you guys have the backing from the repeat business, especially like UGA, where they keep coming back to you time and time again. So what would you say some of the, biggest challenges that you guys have faced from when you first came to the company to where you are now that you guys have been able to overcome, whether it's from growth or the economy or any of that?
Biggest challenges? You could say pandemic. Although we were deemed as essential during the pandemic, we stayed pretty busy during that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, big projects that we may have been thrown at us when we first started, like demolition. You know, Chris and I would go do an estimate or go look at a job and be like, this may be more than we can do. Can we do this? Do we have the resources to do this?
Yeah.
And we'd look at each other and be like, let's do it. We like a challenge, let's do it. You know, so Chris has bought the proper tools, huge grind saws. We demoed a steel deck. Every piece of the deck was steel. And we had to
But
cut.
that was light.
We had to bring the skid steer out there, and so these beams were so heavy.
Jeez.
We had to cut through each beam just to get it in small enough pieces where we could take it and put it into our roll off. So it's just, you know, stuff that we may be overwhelmed with at first is a big challenge. If you just take a deep breath, there is a way, you know, that we can do it, because we've got big plans. You know, we got the skid steer. We're going to buy a Mini X this winter. We're going to be getting another truck to our fleet this winter. So I mean, things are moving in the right direction. I tell you that.
Well, speaking of the growth that you're just talking about, and previously when you said you guys are possibly going to be looking for a new location, I happen to know a great commercial broker whenever you guys are ready for that. Be able to help you out with that.
Okay, well, if you can give me his name and number,
All right, let me reintroduce myself.
I'll pass it along.
I'm Jake.
Hey, Jake. Good to see you, buddy.
So, like, one of the things that I like to try to do is to provide value from not only potential customers, but also other business owners that are in the area. So what advice would you potentially give from, like, taking a step back from working directly with your clients, but also just, you know, having been a previous business owner, having gone through the struggles of the pandemic, which affected millions of people across the United States, you know, do you have any direct advice that you would give to any other current business owners or aspiring business owners on, you know, take the risk, or, you know, be all in, or, you know, any words of wisdom that you have from that?
If you're wanting to be a business owner or go out on your own for business, it's a very hard step to take, you know, especially if you've been in the regular working world your whole life, working for someone. I was, you know, I did it. I was like, you know what? I want to own my own business. I know it's a risk, but you write down all the pros and cons. You know, do the risk, you know, do the rewards outweigh the risk? You know, it all depends on what it is, but yeah, I would say if you have something in your mind that's wanting to drive you to do something that you know you'll love, do it. Because then you'll be upset at yourself that you never did it. If you don't ever do it, then you're going to be saying, what if I'd done that 3 years ago? You'll never know.
Yep.
So at least do what I did. I mean, I did it. I did it for 7 years. The pandemic got me. My business wasn't deemed as an essential business during the pandemic. So that drove people away from my business.
Yeah.
Where this business, there was a lot of people at home during the pandemic, cleaning.
Everybody wanted to do construction projects when they were stuck at the house.
That's why Lowe's and Home Depot, they had record sales in 2020 and 2021 because of the pandemic.
Yeah,
and it was really reverse what you thought it would be. But people spent during that time doing home projects. So the same thing with the junk removals and dumpster rentals. They were remodeling and stuff. We would drop on a dumpster, boom. That's why Junk South did so well during the pandemic. But I loved being a business owner, and I'm in a good position right now, being the operations manager. It's almost like I'm a business owner, but I'm not. I mean, the owner still has the final word, but he has a lot of trust in me where I can I have a lot of say.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, you've earned that, clearly.
Yeah.
So one of the things I also like to do is anybody that winds up seeing this video from my audience, I want them to be able to come utilize your services. Obviously, that's kind of the main purpose of this. So if they were to reach out to you saying, hey, I saw you guys on Jake's interview video or whatnot, do you guys have any kind of discounts or anything like that you might be able to offer them if they mention that? Like 5% off or 10% off or something like that?
I could, yeah.
Okay.
I'd be willing to give them 5% off. I don't really like to discount our services because we're the best in the business
Absolutely.
at what we do.
Yeah.
But with that being said, anybody that sees this and utilizes our services, and I know that you're the reason from this video, then yes, I'll give 5% off.
Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And I usually like to close this out. If there's anything that we didn't necessarily touch on, like is there any valuable nugget out there? Maybe it's related to the junk removal process or just business ownership or your involvement in the Athens community or since you've been in Athens. Like, is there any valuable nugget that you could potentially leave to kind of my audience and just leave them out with that? I know it's a vague question.
Yeah, just if you're clutter free, your mind will be clutter free.
You know what? I like that. It's good stuff.
So just clean your mind out. A fresh mind keeps a positive vibe, and with those positive vibes, you're able to accomplish most anything. So again, if your house is clutter free, your mind is clutter free.
New tagline.
Yeah,
I dig it.
You like it?
Well, you guys heard it here from Matt. I greatly appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
If you guys have seen this here, make sure to reach out to Matt. And this is only going to be applicable for like the next maybe couple weeks or a couple months. Obviously, if we get into like 2024, 2025, you can't utilize this video for a 5% discount. But yeah, definitely reach out to Matt and Junk South and his entire crew. If you have any needs whatsoever, whether it's residential, commercial, full service, you want a roll-off dumpster, you want them to come out and do some demo, they do a phenomenal job. I know that firsthand. I can provide them a direct testimonial for that. But yeah, once again, I greatly appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you some more business.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Mm-hmm.